All right. Ready? Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Amanda Styler. I am with KLTV Channel 7. Today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to work with businesses and nonprofits, and then also a little bit about how you can get the attention of the media when you have something going on or you have a need. So a little bit about me. I've been with KLTV for 9 years, but I started my career in 8th grade when I did the announcements for my elementary or for my middle school. I've been in media my entire career. There wasn't a time where I wasn't doing something, whether it was with baseball media relations, I've done radio, I have pretty much done network producing. So I've kind of dabbled in all of it, and I absolutely love marketing. And one of my favorite things about doing marketing is working with nonprofits and helping getting connected with businesses and just using marketing as a tool for you all to get the donations that you need to bring about awareness, because it's really cool when you see organizations grow and get the donations that they need, and just helping the community in general. So that's kind of what I'm going to go over a little bit today. The first thing I want to talk about, Giving Day is coming up. So I have worked with Holly 4 years on Giving Day, and we've kind of watched it grow every single year on how many people are donating, and we push things on. We've done everything from digital to TV to promote it. I know she's done some other things. She's worked with the newspaper. They've had events, but we want to give you all some tools to use for when you have a Giving Day to make it successful. So the first thing that I would recommend is social media. I'm sure you all already do some social media components on that. But to make it a little bit, to elevate your social media campaign, some of the things that you can do is, use a countdown to the last day of Giving Day. Update people on your donations. Let them know, if you all have a goal of $25,000, let them know where you're at halfway through the day, or give them some idea of where you're at, because more people, if they see that you're below your goal, they're more willing to see that urgency to give. Another thing that you can do is do videos. I will tell you from a KLTV standpoint, we have seen a huge increase in our pre-roll videos. We do close to 1 million video plays every single month. A lot of social media will also show you can see the engagements. Videos perform higher. If you have somebody who can get on there during Giving Day and give live updates and talk about your organization, what you all need, what the donations go for, they're going to be more willing to give because they're going to be invested in what you're doing.
I'm going to intercept you for a second, because we do a Facebook Live. This is Holly, by the way, if it goes online. We do a Facebook Live from the Plaza Tower, from their atrium, and we do like certain intervals during the day. You guys are welcome to attend those. We'll do live cut-ins with you if you would like. It's also a great point for our media partners to come and do interviews. Last year, we had multiple live interviews with area TV stations that came and actually took advantage of that public space. So
people want so much content these days, and I mean, you all hear about how big TikTok is. Every teenager's on it, every mom's on it, and they're all 15-second video based. So you don't have to make something super extensive. It's just hey, we're here, it's Giving Day, we're this close to our goal, or we need these donations, please give, anything that you can give somebody to connect with you, engage with you. That's what social media is for. You want to really push that emotional pull. You really want to tell them about what's going on, because they're going to be more willing to take action if they can engage with you on the donation side. Like your post, share your post, even if it's just hey, can you share our post? Most of the time, people on a nonprofit level will absolutely do that for you. It's something small that they can provide if they can't donate. They can bring awareness, they can like your post, they can comment. Give people the options to engage with you in a lot of different ways, and you'll see your engagements go up. The next thing that you can do in general is just be active on social. Like even if you don't have somebody to do videos for you, or you're not comfortable being on camera, I know that I am not sometimes. Hello, people over there. You can post pictures, you can do something on Canva, you can do updates that way. It doesn't always have to be video, but as long as you are really pushing something throughout the day, the more people are going to see it, the more they're going to be willing to be reminded. Some people maybe only get on social media once per day, or some people live on social media, but the more content that you can put out there, the bigger chance you're going to bring awareness about your Giving Day and the donations that you will all need. The next thing and an idea that I had for you all is, I know that you'll probably work with a lot of businesses already. You already have those connections with business owners, friends who are business owners, or anybody just in general that kind of has a bigger platform. Partner with them and ask them to share your social media. It's just, you're not asking for money. You're just asking them to share your post about Giving Day. Let them know, hey, this is our goal. Maybe they'll, do a live video for you. Maybe they'll just share your post. Maybe they will connect to your Giving Day website if there's somebody who normally gives to you all, either on a personal level or on a business level. But, from where I'm out and about a lot, and I will tell you, businesses around here do want to help the community. They do want to be involved. They do want to sponsor events. They do want to have that community feel for their business, because we all know that East Texas is a very tight-knit group, and they want to support East Texas any way they can. So reach out to those business owners. Find a good way for them to engage with your group, and then also that shows that they're looking out for the community. They're sharing something that's passionate to them. I'm very, very passionate about marketing. This is why I'm giving this presentation right now. A lot of businesses who have already donated to you, involved with you, sponsored you in some sort of aspect, they will more than likely probably share a post, a link to your Giving Day, or at least like your post. Let them know this is what you're doing. Get them involved. They want to help. And then the last thing is that I know that y'all have previous donors. Giving Day is, we all see it all over everywhere on Giving Day and leading up to Giving Day. Reach out to your previous donors. Let them know that's happening. I know that I get quite a few emails on Giving Day, letting people know what's going on. I know that's something that you'll probably already do, but just don't skip that step. These are people who have already gave to you, and I'm assuming that they would be happy to give again, especially when we are celebrating a day like Giving Day. Everybody's talking about it. You see all the media covering it. It's a big day, and it reminds people to give back. Go to the nonprofits that you are in support of, the ones that you're passionate about. So that is those are some ideas for Giving Day. Social media, I think, is going to be your biggest bet, though. The more content that you can put out there and leading up to the day of, that's when people are going to be the most responsive, and be reminded that, this is what I need to do. Oh, I love to support, for example, Camp B sitting right here. I love to support Camp B. Let me give today. So just keep that out there. Keep that content. People want to engage on social media. It's nothing to be, scared to do. That's why people have social media. They want to engage. They want to like posts. They want to share posts. They want to, be able to promote things that they love, or in that capacity. So that's how I would market the Giving Day. Let me ask questions or wait to the end. Yeah. If there's any questions about anything on Giving Day. Good. All right. So this one is a fun one for me, because this is what I do. I work with businesses all day long. I'm an account executive for KLTV, so I sell advertising. And when I meet with clients, I always ask them, what are your needs? What are your goals? What do you do? What do you want to do for 2023? How are you going to elevate your business? And I will tell you, it's in the past 3 years, a lot of the businesses that I work with want some type of community aspect. They want to be able to support a nonprofit. They want to be able to support an event. They want to be able to be out in the community. It's not about just selling cars, selling furniture. It's not all about the business aspect of it anymore. And it might be because some of us are millennials these days. I know that that's my era. We do a lot of community. I love working with nonprofits. A lot of my friends who are millennials love to work with nonprofits, but it's a community aspect that I have seen interest grow in the past 3 years. So when you think about a business and wanting to, find that person who is just as passionate about what you do, you want to find those businesses that are networking with them through, similar events that you're going to. Business owners that are, if it's about kids, if it's about veterans, if it's about pets, y'all are probably going to be intertwined in some capacity at events. Get to know them, find out what their real passion is, and tell them, hey, this is what we do. This is what what we need for donations. We have a volunteer program. A lot of businesses have volunteers. I know there's one company in the market that shuts down an entire day so that the whole entire company can go volunteer for something. So the more you get to know these businesses and what they do on a regular basis, is going to be the best way for you to connect with them. One of the other things about businesses is that one new thing you can utilize is looking at their ads. We all watch TV, we all get online, we all watch YouTube. You can tell who their demographic is when you're looking at their commercials. Some of them are talking to moms selling stuff. Some of them are talking to guys with big trucks. You never know when you're watching a commercial. You can see who these people are trying to target. And usually if it's from a business aspect, they're going to want to partner with somebody who has those similar type of demographics for a business marketing nonprofit partnership, because it's all cohesive. When people think about marketing plans, they try to keep with one singular message. They try to hit, the same type of demographic. They all have a core demographic that they speak to on a commercial side. If you're kind of the key demo, for moms, or if you're, guys or guys with trucks, and, maybe they'd be more willing to help a veterans organization, or, everybody loves pets. We'll just be honest, pets and kids, there we go. But there is people who, want to target moms who might be more geared towards kids nonprofits. Think about what you see from them and who they are and their mission statements online. They all post a mission statement online. You can learn so much about the businesses from their online presence. Try to find somebody that, would be in that same lane that you're in, because they're going to fill that too. They're already talking to these people. They might be willing to talk more from a community aspect. So the biggest thing that I run into is when I'm working with a business and they say, hey, Amanda, I really want to partner, do something community oriented. I'm selling cars, I'm selling furniture, I'm selling groceries, but I really want to have something that's community based. I want, to help somebody. I want to use our advertising dollars to sponsor something. What do you recommend? So I know a lot of nonprofits in this market. With Giving Day and I'll show you some examples that I do right now. But when we think about when you walk into a business and you want to connect with them, you want to offer them a sponsorship, you want to let them know you need donations. Their personal donations is different than their business donations. So their business donations or their business partnership that they're going to do with you as a nonprofit is coming out of a marketing fund, is coming out of a community fund. So personal, you go to them, you say, hello, Mr. Brown, I'm going to, thank you for your check, and they move on down the road because they want to give from personally from their heart. When it comes from a business perspective and it's coming out of the business, the partnership needs to be enticing also for the business, just like it's enticing for you as a nonprofit, getting the donation, getting the sponsorship, and trying to find an equal balance. Yes, they want to give, they want to be seen in the community, they want to give back. But from a business budget, they need some exposure. They need to be able to put their name in a social media post. They need to have a sign at the table. They need to have something, and not just, it's got to be kind of glitz and glamoury more so than if it was from a personal donation. And so that's why when you have somebody who is like me, who has worked out partnerships between people, it's people donating their advertising time to certain things. And so what we'll do is we'll partner with the business and the nonprofit, and then we kind of use their advertising and promote both. And it becomes this cohesive campaign where this business sponsoring a nonprofit, and if they're asking for donations, they're doing a drive. But every aspect of it is a partnership. It's not just always about the nonprofit. It's not always about the business. It's about marketing both together. So if you approach a business about, I want to do this, just make sure that you give them some sort of exposure in some way, even if it's a social media post. It doesn't have to be something that you all push money towards, or it could be just as simple as a media post, a blog, anything, a video that you're going to do at their location while you're there, saying, hey, we partnered with so-and-so, and we're accepting donations for this, or we're doing a drive for this, come on out, bring canned goods or whatever it is that you're asking for. Give them something tangible that they can hold on to when you're asking for a sponsorship, or for, come to an event, or to host a drive or anything like that. That's going to be the most enticing for them. On a personal level, I'm sure they will write you checks all day long or volunteer time, But when you're looking at it from a business perspective, the marketing budget or the community budget that's coming out of it has to have some sort of positivity for the business. Ideas, I'm going to go through a couple of things that I have done with some people in the community, and I believe we even have somebody here who has experienced it. So, for example, Ultra came to me and said, we want to be more involved in the community. We want to do something that supports the community, but we don't want to just do ads. We want to be able to actually give back to the community. So we came up with a diaper drive. There was a huge need back, I think we've had this since 2019. There was a huge need from one of the pantries in the market that needed diapers. So I knew that. I knew Ultra was looking for a partner. I connected the two, we came up and had a diaper drive. It's been going on for 5 years. We just finished it. They were able to donate 11,000 diapers. It's even grown to even more nonprofits. Ultra has grown into 3 nonprofits now, not just one. So it's an ongoing thing, and they are excited to have it. Their members know that they're having it. It's a great partnership. Both people benefit. Ultra gets to give and show, they do social media posts. They let people know. They get to be involved, and the nonprofits get involved, and it's really cohesive campaign. So that is something that you can think about. You don't have to do it on the KLTV level. You can do it on the social media level. You can have the business and you just promote on social media. You don't need a big budget for this. But if you have a specific need, it's good to talk to businesses and see if they want to partner. And most of the time, if they can do it, they will. And then the other one is a very, very interesting one. KLTV Subaru is, we all know they sell cars, right? That's not what KLTV Subaru is all about. They're all about, they have to share the love of it. They give back a lot. They're big community people, and they have hearts of gold. I will tell you that right now. So what we do, instead of selling cars every single month, we highlight a nonprofit in the market. Somebody who has been here, here locally in their backyard. They want to be able to donate that time for them. And so what that nonprofit gets is a spotlight. It's about 1 minute to 2 minutes every single month. We highlight a new one, and it just puts a bigger picture of what's going on in the community, the needs in the community, and it does really, really well, and it really gives you that good feeling nonprofit. And if you ever see their 15-second spot, they literally don't sell cars again. They say donate, volunteer, and give back to this. That is their message with us on KLTV. So they kind of went a different route. They do this every single month, and they try to touch as many nonprofits as they can, especially locally, East Texas, homegrown ones that maybe don't always get the spotlight, because that's what they're passionate about. They want to show these nonprofits off to the community. So there is some online. If anybody needs a link after that, we can always send that out. But these are how I partnered. Like I said, I meet with businesses. They tell me this is what they want. And so then we come up with ideas on how to benefit the business and benefit the nonprofit. Any questions about that?
I'm going to often tell y'all about networking opportunities. Follow your local chamber. The chambers are business to business. That's what they're connecting organizations together, connecting businesses to each other. The Smith County Tyler Chamber is extremely active, but I know in Lufkin they're very involved. Lamar County has very active one, and Longview as well. What you need to do is attend those events. It may be a $30 luncheon. It may be even a ribbon cutting. Those are all publicly out there. They promote them on social media, and every month, or every week, every Friday, the chamber sends out an email about what's the coming events. I know that some of you may not be maybe introverts and may want to stay at home and not want to get out, but you really need to go to those chamber after hours, chamber breakfast. Start small. Chamber breakfast is an excellent opportunity because it's a smaller network of people, and you have a few seconds where you can actually talk with one-on-one with somebody. But the chamber after hours is a big mixer. Lots of businesses, lots of opportunity for you to meet people in town who you can become friends with in the later, could help support or at least gain knowledge about what you're doing. But definitely get involved with your local chamber for networking opportunities.
And yes, and I will piggyback off that. I have been to these meetings. These people want to talk. They want to learn about other businesses. They want to learn about what you do, why you do it. Is there people are networking to find other avenues to grow their business. This is a perfect opportunity for you to get out there and go shake some hands, and they're going to tell you all about their business, and maybe there's a connection there. Get out there on all these chamber events, anything you can find, because the more you network, even if it's just a small conversation, you're going to be able to talk about the awareness of your nonprofit. You're going to be able to talk about what you all need. And they might, you don't know how, like maybe they have a community budget that nobody's talked to them about, and they will want to utilize their budgets or the marketing budget or community budget for it to help you out. And like I said, these people want to talk. Let me reiterate that you will not be standing there all by yourself and nobody will speak to you. And I'm probably will be one of those people who be like, oh, who are you? Because that's what we do. This is why you go to these things. Networking is the main objective, so people can learn about other people's businesses and find those connections.
I promise you, the hardest part is getting out of the car and going.
Yeah.
Once you're there, you're going to be solid. It's going to be good. But getting out of the car and after work, I know is the hardest part. Once you go home, really need to go. Another thing is civic organizations.
Mm-hmm.
They have a cost associated with them, like to be a Rotary member or you have a membership fee to be a part of. Man, it is a great collection of individuals. You can be in the Lions Club, you can be in Rotary, you can be in Kiwanis, whatever it is. But those local civic organizations, that's what those individuals come to those groups for, is to learn about their community and invest their energy into that. Yeah, I highly recommend just you got to start plugging in.
Yeah, because nobody's going to know about you if you're not out talking about it. And when I talk about the businesses and partnering with, like I said, it does not have to be monetary exchange. It could just be a partnership on social media where you share posts, something free. You promote their events, they promote yours. Just making that connection and having someone else be a voice for you. So it does not have to be budget-based. Those are just some ideas that if you do come across something, this is what you can do. You can do a drive, you can do articles, you can do videos with them. But it doesn't have to be money. It's just making those connections and letting that business help you promote and do brand awareness. So that's kind of how the B2B works. Just makes, they want exposure, you want exposure. It's kind of the mutual agreement when you do those type of partnerships. But to switch gears a little bit after we talk about businesses, let's talk about media. This is, I'm sure everybody has been on some case or another had media coverage, or you're new and you're trying to figure out media coverage. I'm going to kind of show you some examples of some media coverage of what other these are articles from KLTV. Just happen to use them. It's at my disposal. But everybody in this market, all of the broadcasts, the newspapers, the radio, they all cover nonprofits, and you can go online and see get examples of what they have covered. But for example, for KLTV, here was an article where Christmas musical benefits 2 nonprofits. They donated, they did a show and they donated the proceeds to 2 nonprofits in the market. That's always good to have if you have that type of partnership. Send that down, to the news and let them know, because you never know. It may be a slow news day, or it may be something they're like, oh wow, this is really cool. We definitely need to cover this, and especially seasonal, as you can see. This ran in December. The need for donation. This one, I still remember when I read this because it tugged at my heartstrings. I'm a mom, I have young kids, and you saw that they needed stuffed animals. If you have a specific need for your nonprofit like this, or your food pantry is going low, anything like that, a lot of the media will take hold of this because it does pull at your emotional. It will help people get donations. So if you have a need like this is something to let the newsroom know. And not saying that they will all. Let me preface this entire section. Any type of media is not guaranteed. There could be severe weather. You could be scheduled for an interview and breaking news happens and then it gets kiboshed. So keep that in mind. It is not guaranteed. You can send it to everybody in the market who does some type of media. It does not mean that it's going to get covered. Media coverage is never promised. There are some things that you can do to help with that, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but let me say that before I even go any further. Just because you send something to the news department or any type of media doesn't mean that they are going to immediately put you on their website, put you on the news. there are other things that are going on too. So it just all depends on their day. It all depends on the story. But these are just some examples of what we have covered as KLTV. But the other stations, the other newspapers, they all have examples. You can type in nonprofit and whatever media you want to see that they're interested in. And then just here's two more, looking for more volunteers. You can always let people know that you need volunteers. And then also big donations, that's also been covered. So these are all different types of ways that the media interacts with nonprofits. Your biggest thing that you can do, and I'll get into this when we're talking about how to talk to the newsrooms, how to talk to the newspapers, radio, any type of medium. It's not specific to KLTV. It is to be have some sort of type of press release. It doesn't have to be formal, but it just needs to have a who, what, when, where, why. And if you can somehow have a photo, I will tell you, my news director, when I asked him, what specifically are you looking for when somebody sends you something that says, you know, we want coverage? Because he said photos, and he says, because we're all like moths to a flame. If we can visualize and we can see photos, then that will get their attention more than just some regular verbiage. And if you have some sort of, you know, newsworthy community aspect, some sort of miracle story, those are always good too. But photo is the one thing that I would say will get you the furthest when it comes, and that comes from my news directors now. So photos number one. Two is who, what, when, where, why. And three, if you have a great news story that goes along with what you're doing, like, you know, there was a big donation and y'all bought, you know, 40,000 diapers, or, you know, add those little tidbits in, because that's going to engage them into, oh, wow, this is like, you know, a big deal. And anything that you can do to pull them to make it seem like a news story, they're going to be more willing to see that aspect, that angle, and hopefully come out and film something. There is a specific time to send a press release, at least in the news, in news TV world. Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m. Here's why. The news team is preparing for all of their afternoon shoots and all of what they're going to do for the evening news, late news. They are looking at their computers, they're coming up with stories. This is the optimal time to send any type of press releases to at least a TV station, or it can be any Monday through Friday, but 10:30 a.m. is a very, very good time, because they just finished morning news, they're working on the evening news, and that is, and they're not, you know, getting ready to start another news, they're preparing for that. So you kind of get them at while you can have their attention. Monday through Friday is fine, even, you know, even weekends, but Wednesday is the day, 10:30, straight from the newsroom. So I wanted to share that, make that very clear. This is all from news people. Don't, you know, at 3 o'clock, they're almost getting ready to start their next news. 4 o'clock, they're already in news. When you think about when you want to send items for them, it's got to be in a time where people aren't, you know, engaging in the news so much. They've already got everything going, or they're getting ready to produce. So think about it in that way. It is the best time to send is kind of, you know, 10:30 a.m. when everything is kind of slowed down and they're preparing for the next set of news that's coming down the road. And the best way to keep track of that is to create an email group with all media, not just, you know, not just the TV stations, with newspapers, with radio. Call and find out how you can get them, you know, your press releases, can make those connections. And don't be scared to send press releases or emails. That's what they're there for. Send them as much as you can, because if they ever have a question about something that's going on and you all have the need to help or give information, education, they're going to see you, they're going to learn about you, and they're going to have their own awareness. Also, a lot of the media people want to get back in the community too. So it's good for them to know about your organization. And like I said, from the article sports, let them know of huge donations. Let them know of things that you need. Do you need volunteers? Do you need stuffed animals? What is it that your organization needs? It's a call to action. And let me say again, not every news press release you send will be covered. I always have to put that caveat in there. I even have to tell my clients that. So, I mean, I have that conversation probably about 10 times a day. it's, just remember optimal time, give them as much information, and number one, photos, photos, photos. Let them see the cute babies, let them see, the cute puppies, whatever it is. They are like moth to a flame on that. Okay, so hypothetically, let's say everything goes well. You send your information over to the newsroom or any media, and they call you up and they want to do an interview. So when they do, be prepared after you send anything. Be prepared to speak about it. They're sometimes only going to use a small clip. Sometimes they're only going to write this much. Make sure that you have the best information right up front with them. Make sure that you know what you want to say, what your goals are when you're being interviewed. Being prepared after you send a press release, because they could call you right away. They could call you 3 hours and say, hey, we saw this, we want to come shoot. Just make sure that you have somebody on staff that is okay with being on camera and is going to speak well on the behalf of that. Because, even me, I get tongue-tied and I talk all day long, all day. So when you think about when you send something, just make sure you have some bullet points, the most important, because that's what you want to get out. Because sometimes you may only get 15 seconds. Sometimes you get a minute. You never really know how the coverage is going to go. So just make sure every word counts when you're being interviewed. And then after you have a news story, share on social media, put it on your website. That's content that you can use that, people can see, that they'll find you. It increases your SEO, your SEM if you're interested in the digital aspect of everything. Share it, because if you share their stories, tag them in it, they're going to, from a business aspect, they're going to be more willing to, do more and support more if you really have that partnership. Excuse me. So the biggest thing is, like, after the fact, share the social media, share the story, use the video, and you can even send that back out if it's an event that they covered. Put it out beforehand and let people know what it was before. You have all this content, build your library. Content is so important when you're trying to market. And that's all I have. So is there any questions?
Yeah, Amy from the online.
Yep.
But if you're online, we have a question, put it in the chat. Happy to. We do lots of radio interviews around Giving Day because it's such a large region. And I know that it's hard to do radio interviews because you can't see the people. So I know it's very difficult because you need that face-to-face interaction, but still do them. Like KTRE here in town, Sims, he will do interviews with you all day long. If you have a good project, out at UT Tyler, they have an NPR affiliate now, and Mike Landis is currently seeking contacts that he can do interviews with. If y'all ever know No. You need to try to get with Mike Landis out at I'm totally talking to him, out at UT, because he is currently seeking nonprofits and organizations to feature. Who else? It's really, I know our local KTV. If your nonprofit feels like a conservative listener, then KTV is a great outlet for you to have an interview with them. Make sure they're on your press release list. And then,
Show's over.
I know. There you go. So think about locally, and you can go online and start doing research. Like you mentioned about creating a contacts tab for your social media, for your media that you send out to everybody in that folder. I do that all the time, and I promise you, those things change every year. I have to go and update one of every year, sometimes once a quarter. I have to go in and update, and I have mine segmented. It will be services to 32 counties. I have them broken down by counties. So I have my news outlets that are in that serve, like, typically it's going to be Smith County, Greer County combined. We overlap on the same media people. But Texarkana has a whole different, because I'm going to send that to with the Section County Gazette, which is out of, it's out of Little Rock. So I mean, like, I'm sending press releases to people, so I have each county service area broken up into, these are my Bowie County media partners, these are my Angelina County media partners, because each of those have their own outlets. Same thing with when you go west and you have like Grayson, Van Zandt County, and Athens and Henderson County, they have their own media outlets. So I can send a universal email that goes to every county, or I can send some specifically just to those target areas. So if you have a service area that, if you're on food bank, you do 26 counties, you need to kind of have that diversified portfolio for your sending them to.
Yeah, and like I said, don't be scared to send them everything. I mean, they get probably 50, 60 emails an hour of people, can we get coverage? This is what's going on. Don't be scared to do that. Don't be apprehensive. That's what they're there for. You never know what's going on in the news that this would be a good compliment for, or they find your story intriguing. Don't be scared to send them, because that's what media is for. They like to be fed stuff. So just make sure that you get that email group together and send them out everything. It's not going to hurt their feelings. They're not going to block you. They want as much content as they possibly can.
From a marketing standpoint, I always have to think from our office, like, what today can be a story. So when you switch over and get a new board member or a new board chair, that's a story. People like to know who's leading in the community. So every time we turn over our board and get a new board chair in January, I'll put a press release out about it. Whether it gets picked up or not, then I can always upload in our newsletters. So I'll take a photo of that new board chair and I'll use that press release as the content of my newsletter. So it's not just helping the world, it's helping me with content. If someone in your organization gets a certification, so let's say that you're now a certified you're a certified fundraising professional now with your CFP. If you get that certification and you've gone through those classes, that's something that you can teach your own point about and put out a press release. Like I said, it may not get picked up by the media because they don't necessarily know what all that is, but it gives you content that you can repurpose. So think about how those can be repurposed also. We still have no questions online. Everyone online is just positive and brilliant.
All right.
So if anybody have any more questions, we're going to give y'all back 30 minutes of your life, or 20 minutes.
I have a question for you, I guess.
Okay.
So our organization works internationally.
Mhm.
So we raise funds typically locally, but work internationally. Do you have any specific tips for, like the business partnerships? Obviously, typically want to work with local entities
Yes.
because that's.
But for me, I would think of, maybe the bigger companies that maybe aren't just the local. Think about, the Walmarts, the Home Depots. Some of them also who are locally have a community fund that may be interested in doing. But that's not to say, I could see that, because I feel like, people do that a lot. I know churches do things, they do mission trips. There may be a business owner that does, mission trips or who's passionate about overseas help. Those would be who I would look for as partnerships, business owners who do that type of work or help promote that type of work, because they would be, they would see your mission, your goal for what you're doing. That's kind of how I would find those business owners, like people who do go on mission trips and want to give back overseas and internationally. But you could also look at the bigger companies as well. But I don't think it's going to hold you back too much, because everybody knows there's a need, right? You all have a need. You can talk about it. You're passionate about it. People are going to see that. It's just finding the right people who feel the same way, regardless of what that is. So yeah, I would think that, somebody, for me, if I was trying to hook you up with somebody who would feel the same way, it'd be somebody who does the mission trips, who knows like what it's like outside of the United States and what they've already given, they've supported a church group, or, and now they can find a good partnership with a nonprofit that does good work. So yeah, that's how I would think about going about in that capacity.
No other questions online? All right, kids, if y'all are, we have filled your entire list of questions, but I think we're done.
Very good.
No, we don't have one. All right, thank you all. This will be posted on the TexasGivingDay.org website under nonprofit resources, and hopefully that will happen before the end of the day tomorrow. So Again, thank you all for coming and attending today, and we will see you all soon. Thanks.
Thanks.
Ah. Yay.
Yeah.